goes to Sri Arunachala. Hearken, it stands as an insentient hill, eradicating objective knowledge. Its action is mysterious, past human understanding. From the age of innocence it had shone within my mind that Arunachala was something of surpassing grandeur. But even when I came to know through another that it was the same as Arunachala, I did not realize its meaning. When it drew me up to it, stilling my mind, and I came close, I saw it stand unmoving. I realized that it meant absolute stillness.
Who is the seer? When I sought within, I watched the disappearance of the seer and what survived him. No thought of I saw arose. How then could the thought I did not see arise? Who has the power to convey this in word when even thou, appearing as Dakshinamurti, couldst do so in ancient days by silence only to convey by silence thy transcendent state. Thou standest as a hill, shining from heaven to earth.
When I approach regarding thee as having form, thou standest as a hill on earth. If with the mind the seeker looks for thy essential form as formless, he is like one who travels the earth to see the ever-present ether. To dwell without thought upon thy boundless nature is to lose one's separate identity, like a doll of sugar when it comes in contact with the ocean of nectar. And when I come to realize who I am, what else is this identity of mine but thee, O thou who standest as the towering Arunachala?
To look for God while ignoring thee, who art being and consciousness, is like going with a lamp to look for darkness. Only to make thyself known as being and consciousness, thou dwellest in different religions under different names and forms. If yet men do not come to know thee, they are indeed the blind who do not know the sun. O Arunachala the Great, thou peerless gem, abide and shine thou as myself, one without a second.
As the string in a necklet of gems, it is thou in thy unity who penetratest all the diversity of beings and religions. If, like a gem when it is cut and polished, the impure mind is worked against the wheel of the pure mind to free it of its flaws, it will take on the light of thy grace and shine like a ruby, whose fire is unaffected by any outward object. When a sensitive plate has been exposed to the sun, can it receive impressions afterward? O benign and dazzling Aruna hill, is there anything apart from thee?
Thou art thyself the one being, ever aware as the self-luminous heart. In thee there is a mysterious power, Shakti, which without thee is nothing. From it proceeds the phantom of the mind, emitting its latent subtle dark mists, which, illumined by thy light of consciousness, reflect on them, appear within as thoughts whirling in the vortices of Prabda, later developing into the psyche worlds and projected outwardly as the material world, transformed into concrete objects which are magnified by the outgoing senses and move about like pictures in a cinema show. Visible or invisible, O hill of grace, without thee they are nothing.
Until there is the I thought, there will be no other thought. If other thoughts arise, asking to whom, will call forth the reply, to me. He who pursues this closely, questioning what is the origin of the I, and diving inwards reaches the seat of the mind within the heart, becomes there the sovereign Lord of the universe. O boundless ocean of grace and effulgence called Arunachala, dancing motionless within the court of the heart. There is no longer any dream there of such dualities as in and out, right and wrong, birth and death, pleasure and pain, or light and darkness.
The waters rise up from the sea as clouds, then fall as rain and run back to the sea in streams. Nothing can keep them from returning to their source. Likewise, the soul, rising up from thee, cannot be kept from joining thee again, although it turns in many eddies on its way. A bird which rises from the earth and soars into the sky can find no place of rest in mid-air, but must return again to earth. So indeed must all retrace their path, and when the soul finds the way back to its source, it will sink and be merged in thee, O Arunachala, thou ocean of bliss.
The necklet of 9 gems. In the court of Chidambaram, Shiva, though motionless by nature, dances in rapture before his Shakti, who stands still. Know that in Arunachala he stands in his solemnity, and she withdraws there into his unmoving self.
A, Ru, and Na signify Sat, Chit, and Ananda, being consciousness bliss, or again the Supreme Self, the individual self, and their union as the one absolute expressed in the Mahavakya. Thou art that. Achala signifies perfection. So worship Arunachala of shining golden luster, for mere remembrance of him ensures deliverance.
Those who take refuge at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord of Mercy, presiding over Arunachala, their minds freed of attachment to riches, lands, and relatives, and to caste and the like, and ever made pure by seeking thy benign grace, these rid themselves of the misery of darkness, and in the steady light of thy ever-protecting grace, which shines at the golden rays of the rising sun, they abide happy, sunk in the ocean of bliss.
Anomalai, think not to let me pine away wistfully as one unmindful of thee, for thou art ever in my mind. Nor is it right that I should be reduced to dust, mistaking the vile body for the self. Turn thy gracious and refreshing glance upon me, eye of my eyes. Do not fail me, Lord, who art consciousness itself, neither male nor female. Abide thou in my heart.
Lord, who art consciousness itself, reigning over the sublime Shonagiri, forgive all the grievous wrongs of this poor self, and by thy gracious glance, benignant as a rain cloud, save me from being lost once more in the dreary waste, or else I cannot ford the grim stream of universal manifestation. Thou art the universal mother. What can match a mother's care for her child?
Killer of Kama, thou art always called by thy votaries. Lord Arunachala, a doubt arises if the title fits thee. If it is fitting, how then can Kama, the mighty, the invisible, continue, brave and valiant though he be, to creep into a mind sheltered under thy feet, who art his killer?
O Arunachala, as soon as thou didst claim me, my body and soul were thine. What else can I desire? Thou art both merit and demerit, O my life. I cannot think of these apart from thee. Do as thou wilt then, my beloved, but grant me only ever increasing love for thy feet.
To rescue me, born of virtuous Sundara and Sundari, in the holy place of Tiruchuli, seat of Bhumi Matesha, Vara. From the pain of miserable mundane life, he raised me to his state, that his heart might so rejoice, the eminence of Shiva so shine forth, and the self flourish. Such is Arunachala, famous throughout the universe.
Bearing and tending me in the world in the shape of my father and mother, thou didst abide in my mind, and before I fell into the deep sea called Jaganmaya and was drowned, thou didst draw me to thee, Arunachala, consciousness itself. Such is the wonder of thy grace.